You write a standard select statement, you hit execute on the screen, and the query disappears into the database. Writing syntactically correct SQL is a trivial exercise in vocabulary. Engineering the system that processes that vocabulary is a massive computing challenge. This gap creates an abstraction leak. SQL is entirely declarative. You tell the database what data you want, but the engine alone dictates the algorithmic path required to fetch it. To bridge this gap, engineers have to map three distinct internal layers: the storage and constraints foundation, the execution pipeline that filters the data, and the data structures that index it. Treating this system as a black box leads directly to production bottlenecks. Understanding how these three layers interact is the dividing line between writing queries that function and engineering systems that scale. At the storage layer, raw data is messy and redundant. Normalization is the mathematical process of fracturing that data to eliminate duplication and prevent errors when inserting or updating records. The first rule, first normal form, requires strictly atomic values. A single cell cannot contain an array or a list. If a user has multiple phone numbers, they are split into distinct individual rows. The second rule demands full functional dependency. If a table uses a composite primary key, meaning a key made of multiple columns, every other piece of data in that table must depend on the entire key, not just a fragment of it. Third normal form removes transitive dependencies. If an employee record contains both a department ID and a department name, the name depends on the department ID, not the employee. That department data moves to its own isolated table. By executing these three rules, the database reaches a highly fractured but mathematically pure state. Every piece of information exists in exactly one place. This absolute data integrity comes with a cost. Spreading information across dozens of tables makes writing data safe, but it makes reading data computationally expensive. Because the data is now fractured across isolated tables, the engine needs a strict navigational system to connect it. That system relies on keys. A primary key provides absolute row identification. It must be entirely unique and cannot contain a null value. A unique key enforces that same uniqueness role, but permits a null state for optional data. Foreign keys act as physical locks between tables. They enforce referential integrity. If an order references a specific customer ID, the engine physically prevents you from deleting that customer until the dependent order is handled. These structural locks are reinforced by a set of operational guarantees, known as ACID properties. Atomicity dictates that a transaction is an all-or-nothing event. If a multi-step operation fails halfway, the entire process reverts. Consistency ensures that all mathematically defined constraints are perfectly intact before and after any state change. Isolation forces concurrent transactions to process without interfering with each other's intermediate states. Durability guarantees that once a transaction commits, the record survives even a catastrophic hardware failure. These four properties separate a relational engine from a simple file directory. They lock the data into a state of absolute predictability. To make this highly isolated, locked-down data useful to a human, it has to be reassembled. That reconstruction requires join operations. This diagram illustrates an inner join. It performs a strict intersection between two tables, returning only the records that have matching keys on both sides. Left and right outer joins return the entirety of one table. Where there is no relational match on the opposite side, the engine simply fills the void with null values. A full outer join captures everything, returning all rows from both datasets. It aligns the relational matches where it can and injects nulls everywhere else. A cross-join ignores relational keys entirely. It creates a Cartesian product, systematically multiplying every single row in the first table by every row in the second. A self-join is a narrower tool. It links a table to itself, allowing the engine to map internal hierarchies, like connecting an employee to their manager within the same dataset. Because reassembling tables require these heavy mathematical set operations, engineers must tightly control the volume of data flowing into the execution pipeline. To prevent the database from buckling under the weight of massive joins, you have to dictate exactly when data is filtered. That requires understanding the query execution pipeline. The where clause operates first. It filters strictly on individual rows, shutting irrelevant data before any grouping or mathematical aggregation can occur. This chart maps the pipeline. After the where clause reduces the raw volume, the group by algorithm compacts the remaining rows into aggregated blocks. Only then does the having clause step in, filtering based on those summarized totals. Aggregating millions of rows consumes heavy CPU and memory. By aggressively applying the where clause early, you minimize the payload passed to the grouping algorithm. Standard grouping destroys the visibility of individual rows. To preserve that detail while calculating aggregates, engineers use window functions with the over clause. A window function calculates partitioned metrics, like running totals or a row's relative rank within a specific department, while keeping the original row intact. The raw data and the aggregated math exist side by side. By mastering the chronological sequence of where, having, and window functions, an engineer dictates exactly how and when the database allocates memory. Even a perfectly filtered query eventually hits a physical hardware limit. Logical syntax always terminates at the storage disk, where physical latency dictates the final read speed. Without a map, a database executes a full table scan. The engine must physically read every single row in a storage block to determine if it matches the query condition. To bypass this linear scanning, the database utilizes an indexed. This structure, typically a B-tree, forces the search query through a series of rapid binary decisions, dropping it directly onto the precise memory pointer. A table can only have one clustered index because it dictates the actual physical sorting order of the data on the disk. Non-clustered indexes serve as secondary maps, pointing to the physically sorted rows. This architecture introduces a permanent mechanical trade-off. B-trees exponentially accelerate read operations, but they degrade write speeds. Every time you insert, update, or delete a record, the engine must synchronously rewrite the index. An index is a deliberate physical compromise. You are intentionally sacrificing write velocity to purchase read velocity. This visualization is a query execution plan. It is the only way to verify if an index is actually being utilized. It details the exact algorithmic path and the computational cost of every operation. These plans expose critical architectural flaws. You look for unintended full table scans, or logical errors like wrapping an indexed column in a mathematical function, which instantly forces the engine to abandon the index. Once a query is optimized, engineers lock it down using stored procedures. These pre-compiled execution plans encapsulate the business logic entirely within the database layer, sharply reducing network overhead. Views offer another layer of abstraction, presenting complex underlying queries as simple virtual tables. Triggers handle automatic, event-driven execution blocks, though their invisible nature makes debugging highly complex. Auditing execution plans and encapsulating logic transforms the database into a transparent, programmable system. The relational model, with perfect normalization and strict ACID guarantees, relies on a single vertically scaled server. But vertical scaling always hits a hardware ceiling. When data volume or velocity shatters single server limits, engineers deploy NoSQL architectures. This model is built specifically to scale horizontally across thousands of individual nodes. Horizontal scaling requires abandoning strict consistency. Instead of ACID properties, NoSQL relies on the base model, basically available, soft state, eventually consistent. The rigid tabular normalization is discarded. This relaxed architecture allows for targeted solutions. MongoDB for flexible document storage, Redis for high-velocity key-value caching, and Neo4j for complex relationship graphs. Expanding a system across multiple geographic regions requires a permanent architectural sacrifice. You must trade mathematically perfect consistency for continuous availability. In production, enterprise architectures are rarely binary. They deploy multiple database paradigms simultaneously. A modern stack routes precise financial transactions through a highly normalized Postgres engine, pulls session data from a Redis cache, and directs distributed read operations to Elasticsearch. Mastering databases requires looking past simple SQL syntax. It demands understanding the deep physical and mathematical constraints of the execution engine, allowing you to build the exact architecture the data requires.